demolished, in fact. And so we catch the sense of this, of the dismay and the disruption caused by the economic disasters of recent months.
Nostradamus says that there will be mobs of people who will storm the banks trying to get their money back, but the banks will be closed, the money will be useless, and will be thrown out and burned like paper. Basically, banking systems are going to come to an end.
As painful as a financial meltdown and war are to endure, some wonder whether they are a mere prelude to what awaits in 2012.
Many new diseases that have cropped up in the last 20 years that we simply have no medical cure for. The depletion of vital resources and the violent competition for what people believe are the few remaining resources that are left, leading to wars, regional wars, that the experts were concerned could actually become global wars. To the best of our knowledge, this has never happened in human history, and all of them must be solved within the next 8 to 10 years. That makes our time in history very, very unique.
The Lost Book contains one last piece of information that may be the final deciding factor that reveals whether 2012 will be an end of violence or a time of violent end. Our ancient culture sending a resounding message of deep importance is a cataclysmic event on the all-too-near horizon. Man's awareness of his own mortality is central to his interpretation of the past and his expectation of the future.
Past cultures had the idea that, okay, a culture will exist for a time. Even the Roman Empire can't last forever. But that there would be something afterwards. There would be a period of disturbance. But it's only very recently that we've come around to the idea that there may not be anybody after us, that we may actually be able to destroy all life on the planet. And there can't be any accident about the fact that this idea becomes common currency at the same time as this whole idea of the galactic alignment and the end of time and so forth.
All of these traditions are pointing to our time in history, some in generalities, some in specifics, and they're all telling us that this is the time that they've been planning and anticipating, fearing, and preparing for a very long time.
For some, the last Lost Book image sends a simple but unmistakable message that failing to heed its warning may have devastating consequences.
This is saying we can either continue on like we're going and the book of life will keep going and being written, or there's a chance that we may not go on and we may be facing some kind of extinction event.
At sunrise, one will see a great fire, noise and light extending towards the north. Within the earth, death and cries are heard. Death awaiting them through weapons, fire, and famine.
Nostradamus is trying to scare us into not destroying ourselves. Nostradamus is trying to scare us to stop oceans from rising, stop our children from dying of starvation, stop our climate from going out of control.
So there have been world ages and world civilizations that have failed to change, and they were completely wiped out. Even their memory has been wiped out to us. But it's saying, hey, this is also happening even today, that if certain changes are not being made now, you could be the next Atlantis.
As 2012 approaches, the world's problems appear to be multiplying.
If you just read the newspaper, if you listen to CNN, what you see is constant news about rapidly increasing changes in major fundamental areas that support humankind. Rapid climate change, financial disruption, and energy reorganization, and species depletion, and water problems.
Harvard biologist E.O. Wilson talks about this time in history, the uniqueness of our time in history. He says that we're living the bottleneck of time. The bottleneck when our resources and our ability to solve our problems will be pushed to the limits.
And as the problems mount, time seems to be speeding up.
It has been said that the 20th century had as much history packed into it as the last 19 preceding it. It's quite likely that the 21st century will have 19 20th centuries in it.
We will see 1,000 times the technological change in the 21st century than we saw in the 20th century. There's nobody alive can wrap their head around that concept. In the 20th century, we started from horses, and we became automobiles and airplanes, and we went to the moon, and we've got the internet. And if you multiply that times 1,000 in the next century, you cannot imagine what that might be. If history is any kind of an indicator for what we're about to experience, then this transition is going to be very short, and it'll happen very soon.
December 21st of the year 2012 marks a date, but we're already in the zone of time where, as a civilization and as a planet, we are being forced into solving the greatest challenges of recorded human history.
If modern man continues on the current path, some believe Nostradamus' darkest predictions could be triggered when the galactic alignment occurs. Yet there may be at least a window of opportunity. While the final Lost Book image shows an empty book of life, suggesting extinction, some see a ray of hope.
This is done by someone who knew what they were doing. That's why he's holding the book up to us. He's saying, it's your choice. You decide what it is you want to do. And it's a work of compassionate genius, because he's trying to give us a message to save us, to save our civilization, and to save our lives.
Is this the reason that so many cultures encoded warnings for future generations? Could the galactic alignment actually be a trigger for an outcome that mankind controls?
It's possible that the cataclysmic event that has been predicted might not be something that's that tragic. It could be more of a wake-up call.
If we could take anything from Nostradamus, it would be a sense of hope. No matter how bad things get, no matter how bad the wars and the famines and the nuclear holocaust, humanity will survive.
I think the question that we really must answer now is, do we have the courage to marry the wisdom of our past with the best science of today? Where will a spiritually based science lead us after December 21st of the year 2012?
Some say that the ending of the Mayan calendar is itself a message of hope. That December 21st, 2012 is not marking an actual end, but rather the conclusion of one age and the start of a new one.
Ancient wisdom, contemporary knowledge, put them together, and we just might pull through.
For all his sobering visions, Nostradamus himself describes the coming days as having many possible outcomes. This preeminent prophet speaks not of a future fixed in stone, but one where man creates his own destiny.
Remember, this is the prophet who gave his king two futures to follow. One where he describes him as a great uniter, a second Charlemagne of France, and another where he dies in a jousting accident. He can't have fulfilled both futures. He was offered a choice. You all are offered a choice. You either pave the way to a new humanity, or you wait, let somebody else fix it, and you all go down in an apocalypse.
Cultures wax and wane. Civilizations rise and fall. Even the mighty prophet Nostradamus is, in the end, a mere mortal. But his immortal message lives on, prodding us to prevail together or perish.
the transformation will be very difficult. Cities and provinces will gain by the changes. Their hearts held high, prudence established, the cunning ones expelled, the sea, the land restored as human harmony awakens.
I really don't think that there will be any great shift on the morning of December 21st, 2012. The UFOs won't land, the comet won't hit that morning, but it'll be a point in which, looking back, we can all say, oh yeah, that's when it all ended. And that was the year in which the new Rome fell and the United States transformed itself, and hopefully we began to move for a better future.